I'm Julian Seydoux. I'm the co-founder of Vai Milano. We started in 2011 when the first idea we had to do it. And Vai Milano has been growing ever since. First fundraising in 2012, and we are operating an ice cream brand, Italian ice cream brand in China, operating in China, headquartered in London. I was working in finance previously in M&A and studying at the London Business School at the time, doing a degree on a part-time basis over the weekend, so working pretty much all the time. And at the end of my course, a classmate of mine, who's the co-founder of Vai Milano, so Jin Yang, asked me if I wanted to join her into an amazing idea that she had, which was to sell ice cream to the Chinese. Evidently, there was huge markets, huge opportunities. I felt it was like the US 70, 80 years ago. So the potential to really grow a business into scale it up to really massive market. And since we first started, China has become the biggest market in the world for ice cream. What we have achieved over the past 6 to 12 months has been essentially reaching profitability levels. So year to date, we are EBITDA profitable, so 6-7%. Our stores are generating quite a lot of cash. And we've been signing pretty big contracts, including with Air China. We have a $500,000 contract on the table. We are building a factory today, so I'm making lots of orders. I was in Italy over the last 2 days actually, to negotiate lots of new machines to make the plant in China and increase our production for the latest contracts that we've had. So not only China, but also some supermarket chains, a cinema complex, 60 cinemas across China. If you follow the monthly cash points of generation that we have, you can clearly see that sometimes we have very well, sometimes we go down. The general, and that's why I show all the investors every time, is the general trend since we first started has always been on the upside, pretty clearly, and the costs have been going down as well. So all the team that we have together have been since the beginning, since 2012, 2011, 2012. So we've created a very experienced team after a couple of years of operating in perhaps the most difficult market in the world. There's never, ever respite, so we never can stop thinking about what could happen tomorrow. There's always an issue that we need to solve, but we become sort of serial problem solvers. Every day there's something that we need to do, and that's how we manage. China is probably one of the most advanced economies in terms of online businesses, so online retailing, and we've heard a lot about Jack Ma and Alibaba, and has significantly changed, made a shift in consumption in China, whereby everything is pretty much done online. This means that we need to focus on getting on board with the new distribution and the new channels of consumption that are starting emerging. And at the same time, we need to fight against the depletion of malls. That's particularly not so much the food, because you need to be on site to taste the food, but for the closed retailing companies, where they really need to think about their new business model. So we follow very closely that, and part of the funds that we use from the SyndicateRoom was to invest into our ERP systems and IT systems to revamp what we had previously and make sure that we have a stronger sets of controls and IT systems, but also in order so that we could set ourselves up to online businesses and start selling through the online channel. What I liked about the SyndicateRoom was particularly, I actually liked the interview. I think it's a good way for people to get a flavor of whether they would like to consider an investment or not. And what I most prefer, which is always, again, come back to earlier comments, I always prefer personal touch and being faced with the crowd at some stage, but crowd focusing on me talking and then answering the question, the Q&A sessions. So the presentation that SyndicateRoom organizes the events every so often, I think, are are key moments in the fundraising process. It's important, and I have seen the development of the SyndicateRoom over the past couple of years, and I think generally your processes and the way of doing has been improving as well. And that means that it's very important for an entrepreneur, for someone to go through the process and to learn from it. So yes, I would recommend, beyond just the raising the funds, which is always a nice touch, I would recommend entrepreneurs to go on the SyndicateRoom.